Okay, hello. So excited to be chatting today. I have my pup Zara right next to me, so she starts barking. I'm sorry, but I told you so beforehand. Hello, hello. And I'm really excited what we're talking about today. So, if you're in my Facebook group, you will know what this live is about. If you saw my Instagram story, you will know what this is all about. But Happy New Year. Hello. Today we're talking about the fact that you are obsessed with the how. And that's why you're not manifesting anything. And this is exactly what you need to do about it. That's what we're talking about today. Hi, Candace. Hello, hello. Everybody's joining. I love it. Happy New Year's Eve. Who is so pumped about the new year? I am. My word of the year is iconic. If you guys have a word of the year, pop in the comments. I would love to know what your word of the year is. Also, I'm wearing my classic What's Your Sign shirt. So always love that. Let me know your word of the year, what you're most excited about for 2019. And yeah, this is going to be so great. I really wanted to touch on this topic before we go into 2019 because I want 2019 to be like the year for you guys to just have these massive manifestations and massive breakthroughs and just I know 2019 has the energy to be so expansive for all of us. I feel there's just this consciousness rising in our society, and I feel the expansiveness in myself, and I am sending you that expansive vibe right now. So take all the expansiveness in. I have my amethyst with me, just me holding that while we're chatting, and I have all my notes written down, so if you guys see me look down, I'm just reviewing my notes to keep myself on track. While we're talking about this, if you guys have any questions about manifesting money, I know I just posted on my story about that, about New Year's setting goals in general, feel free to pop them in the comments, and I will definitely be answering your questions. Take a sip of tea, and we'll get started. So also a quick side note, one thing I am doing, hello, all my favorite people are on. So the tea I'm drinking right now, this has been like my go-to drink recently because one thing I really want to, well, my word of the year is iconic, and I want every part of my life to be super iconic, including my health, of course. And this is like my health tea. So it's like a Slim Life yogi tea, and it's apple and cinnamon, I think, and then I do apple cider vinegar in it, which just gives you the flattest abs ever. So if you do anything after this live, it's a go buy apple cider vinegar and start cooking with it, start drinking it. It's the best ever, and this drink is so good. Usually I drink it at night, but I forgot last night, so I was like, okay, let's make it today. All right, let's just dive straight in because I am so excited about this topic. In 2018, I was really, oh, my hair is being crazy. I was really able to kind of hone in on my obsession over the how manifestation and kind of understand what it was. Because if you guys know my story, when I first learned about manifestation, I would obsess over every single thing that I desired, and nothing was manifesting. And I could manifest little things if I was saying enough affirmations or, I don't know, keeping myself busy, but I couldn't really intentionally manifest a lot due to the fact that I was so obsessed over everything. And it's hard. It's an easy thing to do because we want our desires so badly, or else we wouldn't desire it. But we have to release and let go so the universe can kind of take the reins, can lead us down the right path. And that's honestly, or ultimately, the path of least resistance, the easiest way for us to obtain the things that we desire. So I'm going to scoop this over. Okay. So what am I even talking about? Let's just take it down to step numero uno, the how and manifestation. What does this even mean? So if you know the manifestation process, part of it, the last part of the process, you need to release the how things are going to happen. So say you want to manifest $1 million in a year. How that's going to happen is like let me rephrase that. So if you want to manifest $1 million, the first thing you're going to think of is, oh my God, how can I do that? That's what the how is. When you set any goal and you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to accomplish this? That's the how and manifestation. But the funny thing is that the how isn't our job. So we're going to touch on that later, but that's really the core of what the how is. It's just any single goal you set, any intention you set, anything you desire. When you ask yourself, how is that going to be possible? That's the how that I'm talking about today. And that's the how that keeps us stuck because we're thinking, If you guys listen to one of my recent podcast episodes, how you can never be stuck, this is a prime example. You can never be stuck. It's just you choosing the same thought over and over and over again. So if you're thinking, how's this going to happen? How's this going to happen? How's this going to happen? That's not you being stuck. It's just you obsessing over the same thing over and over and over again. So hope we're all on the same page. I wanted to just be super blunt and be very, like a very basic level so everybody's on the same page here. So that's our how manifestation. And why are you obsessed with it is because, one, of course you want your manifestation, but this is the thing that nobody talks about. You're obsessed over your manifestation and over the how because you think you need to justify yourself. I'm going to say that again. You're obsessed with your manifestation and you're obsessed with the how because you feel like you need to justify yourself. Can we just let that sink in? That is a realization I had very recently, and I was like, holy fuck, I need to share about this. That is some real ish. So what do I mean by justify? You know when you like go on a shopping spree and you spend like $500 and you bring it home to like whoever you live with, whether it's like your roommate or your parents or your boyfriend or your husband or whoever, and you're like, yeah, I spent $500, and you like say but, and then you explain yourself. That's the justifying that I'm talking about. So when you say, I want to manifest $1 million, the how is you kind of justifying the fact that you want $1 million. And so if you're going to unwind or reverse engineer the $1 million, that's like over $80,000 a month, I believe. And so like you picking that all apart and figuring out how it's all going to happen, you're going to be like, okay, well, I made this course and then I did this thing and I worked this many hours at work and I did this promotion. And so of course, because I did all those things, I deserve $1 million. Are you following along here? That's why we obsess over the how, is because we feel like we have to justify it. And it's almost a subconscious thing because it's not like you're thinking, oh my God, I need to justify this. Oh my God, I need to justify this. It's just something that is happening. It's just something that is occurring. Oh my gosh, and I should give you guys another example to kind of help out, but it's like, it's just really easy to talk about money because I think we can all kind of understand that on the same level, whereas like, I don't know, if you wanted to manifest a car and you're worrying about the how, it's honestly like you trying to justify the fact that you're doing all of these steps because you want I'm like saying this in such a weird way. I'm like download this from the universe, so it's kind of hard to explain it. So anyways, you just feel like you need to justify things. You feel like if you take all of these steps, if you plan out all of this, then of course it has to manifest. Of course, this justifies receiving the thing, whatever that's going to look like for you. So when we can be really present around that and when we can really understand why we're doing that, we can kind of unwind it and not have to justify things. And here's the funny thing about justifying is that you don't owe anybody an explanation for anything, ever. You never owe anybody an explanation. So when I say I want to have 10K months, I don't owe anybody an explanation as to why I want 10K months. If Taylor was on here right now and she wants a new car, she doesn't need to justify to anybody why she wants a new car. My client Melissa, she just manifested her rose gold laptop that she's been wanting. And prior to that, she doesn't need to justify why she wants that laptop. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. We just need to free ourselves from that. It's freeing ourselves from judgment. And I think that's why a lot of times we do try and justify things, is because we feel like people are going to judge us. They're going to judge us because we want to make $1 million. They're going to judge us for wanting a new car, for wanting to make 10K months. They're going to judge us for wanting to get our hair done, for whatever that is. And so we do all of these things to make it seem more realistic and not so frivolous and not, you know what I mean, not so lavish. But we don't need to do that. Be your next level luxe self unapologetically. So there are two things that I want you guys to know. One thing I kind of touched on at the beginning of this is that you are only responsible for two things in manifestation. One, it's the what. What do you want? The universe can't give you what you want unless you know what you want. I repeat this all the time, and I hope it gets wired into your brain. And two, you are responsible for the why. Why do you want the thing that you desire? And I think it's because of this why, that's when we start to justify things. We're like, oh, I want the 10K months because I want to do this with that, and that'll make me feel really good. And then that's when everything gets crazy. But you're the only person who needs to know the why. Just write it down in your journal. So if you want to manifest, what's an example? What do you guys want to manifest in 2019? I want to help you guys reverse engineer it. Somebody pop something in the comments. If you want to manifest a car in 2018 or 2019, why do you want the car? Probably because either your car's a piece of shit, because you want an upgrade, because you don't have a car, whatever that is. That is your why. It's going to get you from point A to point B, of course. So you need to know the what and the why, but that is your only job. Isn't that crazy? The universe takes care of the how. So like how that's all takes care of the where you're going to receive it. Maybe you're going to be at a music festival and your junker car breaks down and you have to buy a new one to drive back home, and it ends up being that the perfect car is in the perfect lot where your car broke down. That could be like a how, that would be a when, and that would be a where. But we would never know that. Like in an ideal world, we could control all these things. We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't be like, oh, I think the perfect way this is going to unfold is we're going to go to this music festival and then my car is going to break down and then this is going to happen and then that's going to happen. You wouldn't set yourself up for that. But the universe always has a greater plan than we could ever imagine. And that's how things end up working out so perfectly in our favor every single time. So all you guys are responsible for is the what and the why. The how is not your job. It's never your job, okay? And I always tell my clients that when they're starting to obsess over the how, I tell them, well, think back to a time when something worked out so perfectly for you and you could have never imagined it unfolding that way. Like if I had dreamt up of getting paid to go to college when I was in middle school, I would have never imagined what I'd gone from through high school to get me where I am now. Like all of the traumas and all of the different hardships that happened in my life, I wouldn't have lined that up for me to get scholarships. But the universe has a greater plan. And because of all of that stuff, I'm super strong. I am resilient. I'm super determined. Nothing gets in my way. I do get paid to go to college, and I've learned so many lessons out of that. And it's like it worked out way better than I ever could have imagined because the universe has a bigger plan. And just reaffirming that and reassuring yourself of that all the time is really, really important. So that's the first thing I wanted you guys to know. And then the second thing is, what do I have written here? Okay, so the next thing I want you guys to know and to start doing is to make your manifestations normal. I had an interview recently on my podcast and we talked all about this, about how it's so important for us to take our manifestations off of a pedestal. So if you want to hang out with Kim Kardashian, you have to take her off of the pedestal. You have to make her at the same level as you so that's obtainable for you. If you want to make an extra $1,000 at your job per month, you need to take that number off of a pedestal. I've been around so many people the past week who just having conversations about the holidays and how much money we spend and just, you know, normal conversations that people are having around this time, and are saying, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. Oh my gosh, that is so expensive. Well, the more you're saying it's expensive, the more you're putting it on that pedestal because we're like, oh, rich people can get that. It's expensive. You need to have a lot of money to get that. And it's more out of your reach because it's not normal for you. So you need to make things normal because then you don't have to justify them. And then you don't obsess over the how. Do you see where this is going? It all comes full circle, baby. Let me take a drink of my tea. Okay, so when you're making things normal, it's the same thing as the Kim Kardashian. Just take things off of a pedestal and just act like you already have that now. Act like you could walk into your neighbor's apartment and it would be Kim Kardashian. Act like you opened your bank account and it would already have $5,000 in it. Act like if you were walking outside, you were walking outside to your dream car. Don't make it feel so far away. Because of the law of correspondence with the universe, which I've been talking about a lot lately because it's one of my favorite laws to kind of bring up and use as an example, the law of correspondence is saying that the vibration you're putting out is the vibration you are also receiving. So the law or the universe is just corresponding with what you're putting out. So if you're putting out this vibe of hanging out with Kim Kardashian, making 5K, 10K months, if you feel like that's so far away, the universe is just going to keep pushing it far away. That's literally how the universe works. So we need to act like it could be tomorrow. We need to act like it could be in 5 minutes. You could walk outside and somebody could, You can find a check on the ground with your name on it for like $10,000. Like, you just never know. You could get a random deposit in your bank account. You could get a random promotion at work. And it's never random. It's always orchestrated by the universe. But make it really normal so it can be in your vibration, so it can be around you, so that can actually happen for you. And when it feels normal, then you don't ever worry about the how, because there's nothing to justify. It's just a part of your life. For me, when I made my 5K month in November, I just made it normal. I was telling everybody about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is how much money I'm making this month. This is how much I'm calling in. And I was just making it so normal by talking about it as if it was already here. And so of course it came, of course it manifested, because I didn't have to justify anything. It was just, that was just the amount of money I was making. It doesn't have any other tie to it other than that's the amount of money I'm making, and why am I making it? So for travel, for holiday spending, for whatever. So make it normal. And then my favorite way to make things normal is I have this little hack that I do. So if I have a goal that's, I feel like it's on a pedestal, what I do is I will sit and I will like hold crystals in both my hands, whatever crystals I feel like will help align with my goal. And if you guys have a certain goal and you're like, I don't know what crystals would align with it, just shoot me a DM and we can chat. And I will be able to pick like at least one or two that I feel like would be really good for you. But I will just sit with my crystals and I will just visualize the thing that I want. I will just visualize the outcome. I'll visualize the 10K in my bank account. I'll visualize the new car outside. Visualize the dream Paris apartment that I want. I visualize me carrying the Louis Vuitton bag that I want. Whatever that is. And so the more you can imagine this, the more normal it will feel. And for it to manifest, of course, you need to take action steps. But this is just helping you make it feel normal, so you don't need to justify, so you don't need to like manhandle the situation. Okay, so moving on, I want to talk about 3 things that I do to shift my energy when I start to obsess over the how. And this is like my part. If you like saw my Instagram story, if you saw my Facebook post of like, here's what to do about it, this is what to do. These are like the exact energy shifting things other than the visualization. So the first thing I do when I start to obsess over the how is I go work out. I go move my freaking body, because if we're freaking out, we're just going to sit there and we're just going to be vibrating in this ball of freaking out, of like overthinking, of letting, I've heard a lot of people call it recently your monkey brain, like, oh, what is it? Like your caveman brain that thinks you're going to die all the time. We're letting that take over by just sitting in one place. So my favorite thing to do is immediately get up, change my clothes, and go walk on the treadmill. I do that all the freaking time, just to get outside of my head, even when I'm not freaking out about the how, just to like get outside of all of the thoughts. So that's my go-to, walk on the treadmill, pop in a podcast, listen to the Minds of Magic and Manifestation podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere. That's my podcast. If you haven't listened, you're missing out. So just pop on a podcast and walk with an incline and just zone out. Stop focusing so hard on the one thing you desire, because it's just pushing it further away. That's one of my favorite things to do. Second is to journal out your feelings. So all this stuff is bubbling up inside of your head, and there's no way it's going to get outside of your head. Oh, thanks for the hearts. There's no way these thoughts are going to get outside of your head unless you write them down on paper. You guys, everybody knows there is some weird connection with our brains and our hands that when we write things down, it just sticks better. It makes us feel better, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard this before. That's why they make us take notes by hand all of school. Now, whatever. So it's really important, but to journal out I warned you guys, and my dog was sitting here. Sorry. To journal out your feelings. So get out of your head and get onto paper. What I will do is I will just journal about how I feel. I'll be like, wow, I'm really obsessing. Like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how that's going to happen. And just write down all your squirrely thoughts first. And then afterwards, you can just go ahead from there. Once you've calmed down, it will feel like an exhale almost after you write this down. And then you can convince yourself otherwise. Be like, no, actually, I have this unshakable faith in the universe. No, I know that, of course, everything's going to work out in my favor. Laughing emojis from my dog. Yes. I'm just telling yourself, of course, everything's going to work out in my favor. Of course, the universe has my back. I never need to worry because the universe always has my best intention in mind. And reminding yourself that the more you feel good, the more good things will come to you. So just get the swirly thoughts out and then write your affirmations. Write all the things that make you feel good, that make you feel supported afterwards. Journaling is such a go-to for me. And I talk about this in my mastery moment on Saturday. It's just like, get up and do something to change that vibration. And that the one thing that I did to get up and change my vibration was clean my apartment and do a lot of journaling. And then, okay, tip number 3, it kind of just goes with that, is to get busy. When you're in your head, it's usually because you're just sitting around doing nothing, or you're just like mindlessly watching TV, or you're just sitting on your phone, and that's when your head or your mind starts to run. So for me, I always like get out of my head and I start watching YouTube. I will go cook or like meal prep, and I'll listen to a podcast at the same time. What else did I say in here? Go read, go take a walk outside, pop in your headphones, jam out to your favorite album, call a friend. A lot of times when I'm really in my head, I just call my mom. I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about this. And then I just word vomit, and then we just like update each other on life. I don't know. And we just talk about other things. So that always really helps, is just get yourself busy. Because for me, since I'm a Capricorn, I love to work. I love doing something all the time. Being busy isn't like a badge for me. It's just something that I love. I just love having my time filled. And so when I'm questioning things and I'm wondering how, I'm usually just not being busy. And that is an issue for me. So the 3 tips I have for you guys when you're shifting your energy, when you're starting to obsess about this, is 1, go work out, move your body, do some yoga, clean your apartment, something. 2, journal about your feelings, because you need to get them out of your head one way or another. And then 3, get busy. Go do something. Go see someone. Go somewhere. For me, I'm always like locked up in my apartment, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm thinking too much. So I like go to Starbucks or something. And then another bonus tip I have for you guys is to just get really grounded in your spirituality and in your version of magic. When you can define your own magic, you feel so supported. And that's why my whole brand is Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation, because the magic piece helps you feel 2 things: validated, and it helps you feel like secure. It helps you feel supported. Those are the 2 really important parts of that, is that like as humans, we crave validation, and that's why we justify things, and that's when we start to obsess over the how. But when you're so grounded in your spiritual beliefs, you don't need to justify anything, because you already feel validated, because you can ask for a sign and see it in 30 seconds. I asked for a sign yesterday, and I saw one in 30 seconds, and then I got a huge sign an hour later, and I was like, okay, message received. So you always feel validated when you have that constant conversation with the universe, and you feel supported because you can affirm those beliefs in yourself over and over again. Like I was saying, like, of course everything's going to work out in my favor. Of course the universe has my back. And that's just because I know what I believe in, and you can choose to figure out what you believe in. Nobody's telling you that you have to believe in one thing or another. You can be whatever religion, whatever type of spirituality you want to be. You can follow, do, practice anything, as long as it makes you feel validated and supported. And we go really, really deep into this in my Mindset, Magic, Manifestation Method course, and enrollment is currently open, which is super exciting. I'm so excited for round 2. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's my 12-week course. It's my signature course where I teach you how to manifest your next level luxe life by getting your mindset in check, defining your magic. So exactly what I'm talking about here. And so you can manifest everything so freaking quickly, because the mindset and the magic piece, that's the groundwork. So when that is all laid out, you're not wondering about the how anymore, and you're so clear. So many people have messaged me the last 2 months, and they're like, I just don't know what I want. That's the first thing we do in this program, is we map out what you want, and we clear all the limits behind it. Whether that's money, whether it's a job, whether that is a boyfriend. I've got a couple clients who want to manifest the loves of their lives. People want to manifest moves, careers, whatever it is. We get really clear, and we remove all the blocks. My client Melissa and I just worked on money mindset like 4 days ago, and she already manifested $1,000. Like, that is the work that we're doing in this program. And it helps remove that obsession over the how, because you feel so good that you don't want to focus on the details. You just want to focus on feeling good and going towards what you want, which is really, really exciting. Happy 29th with great health and peace. You too. Thank you. And so I just tell you guys to define your magic because that is what keeps me really grounded. And when I start to spiral, that's what I go to in my journaling is I reaffirm my beliefs in my spirituality and know that I'm supported, know that I'm validated, know that I never need to worry. And if that's something you guys really want and you want that clarity and you want to feel supported, validated, you want to see your manifestations come so much faster, like how Melissa literally got $1,000 in like 3 days and the rose gold laptop she wanted, then you should join me in my Mindset Magic Manifestation Method course. The enrollment closes on Friday. So you need to get in now. And also today's the last day to seal in the $1,000 in bonuses. I'm giving away $1,000 in bonuses. So shoot me a DM if this is something you guys want. Send me an emoji. Say, hey, I'm interested in the program. Can we just talk more about it? And I would love to discuss it with you. Last round, girls manifested money and dates and just easy, just like such an easy time getting good grades, having great friendships, more money. Did I already say that? Brand collaborations. It was such a good round. One of the girls got on one of her favorite podcasts, manifested everything off of her vision board. It was just crazy. And the method that I teach works every single time, 100% of the time when you do 100% of the work. So if that's something you guys are interested in, shoot me a DM so we can get you that $1,000 in bonuses. And I would love to party with you in Cancun. There's a Cancun trip involved, which is, of course, a dream. We're staying at the Ritz, so that's amazing. But that's all I have for you guys today. So stop justifying your manifestations. You're innately deserving and worthy, and you don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Get grounded in your spirituality. If you need help with that, shoot me a DM. If you want to manifest things in like 5 days or less, shoot me a DM because I have the secret formula. But I hope you guys loved this live. It was so jam-packed.